Okay, on this Parenting Tip Tuesday, we get to talk a little bit about the why stage. So many kids enter the why stage when they are given any kind of instruction or even information. They are always constantly asking why. And it gets a little irritating and it gets frustrating because we feel like we're spending our entire days trying to explain something that we don't always even know how to explain. So what do we do with that? Because obviously we do want our kids to learn. We want them to explore and to have answers for things, but we also want them to listen and obey without always needing an explanation as to why. So how do we deal with this situation? So if it is, if they're asking why, when you are giving them an instruction, something that they need to do, and they don't do it, they're just asking why, and you feel like you're trying to explain yourself. And maybe we've grown up with hearing because mom said so or because dad said so. I would not encourage that response very regularly, because I do believe that it's important for our kids to internalize the why of our instruction. I think this is a really wonderful maturing process so that they can learn to how to talk to themselves about decisions eventually, and to have the moral reason why they are being given instructions and why it's important to do things a certain way. So the why is not a bad thing. Here's what I do also, though, believe that kids need to listen and obey you whether or not they understand the why initially. So for instance, if our child is in an unsafe situation and we are giving them instructions to do something to become more safe, we don't want to stand there arguing and trying to explain why it's a good idea for them to move out of the middle of the road. We want them to be able to listen and obey us immediately. And so we call that in our family first time obedience, that you do need to do what mom or dad says right away. And then you have the opportunity to ask us why. Why did you ask me to do that? And I think that parents should feel like they obligated to answer those questions. I think those are really important for our kids to start internalizing morality for themselves. So those are two steps to make sure that our kids are listening and obeying right away. And I'll often say to my kids, obey first, and then I'll tell you why. When their first response is why, when I'm giving them instructions, I'll say obey first, and then I'll tell you why. That's my 2 cents on this whole issue. I think it's really important for kids to know why, and I think that it's not helpful for us to just constantly be saying because mom said so, because mom won't always be around, and they need to know why without mom saying so. So, but it is also important that they listen even if they don't understand. So I would love to hear some interaction on that. If you've got some feedback on how that sits with you, I'd love to hear it, and we'll be back soon with another Parenting Tip Tuesday. Take care.